Every day, millions of people wake up completely exhausted. They drag themselves out of bed, pour a massive cup of coffee to force their brains awake, and then inevitably hit a wall of fatigue by 2 in the afternoon. This cycle of spiking and crashing happens because we constantly fight our own biology. Deep inside every cell in your body is a rigid 24-hour clock dictating when you should be alert and when you must rest. By timing simple behaviors, like light exposure and meal windows, to match these natural hormone cycles, you can move into a highly optimized state of focus and energy. The underlying mechanics of this protocol come from the work of Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at the Stanford School of Medicine. Structuring your day around your body's innate timeline offers the clearest, most reliable path to achieving your peak physical and mental potential. The optimization process begins before you even open your eyes, at a phase known as your temperature minimum. This is the exact point when your core body temperature is at its absolute lowest, occurring roughly 2 hours before your average wake-up time. As soon as you are awake, the most effective first move is taking a walk. In neuroscience, generating your own forward motion creates what's called optic flow, visual images continuously passing by your eyes. Processing this visual flow directly reduces activity in the amygdala, immediately lowering morning anxiety. Doing this walk outdoors solves the next crucial step. Getting natural sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning stimulates specialized melanopsin cells in your retina. These cells tell your brain it's daytime, triggering a healthy, vital pulse of the wakefulness hormone cortisol. This animated diagram shows why you must strictly delay your first cup of coffee for 90 to 120 minutes after waking up. It tracks adenosine, the chemical responsible for making you feel sleepy, gradually clearing out of your nervous system and dropping to a baseline 0 over that initial hour and a half. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine from its neural receptors. If you drink coffee immediately, you trap that sleepiness chemical in your system. By waiting until the adenosine naturally clears out, the caffeine can bind cleanly, preventing that massive wave of afternoon fatigue when the coffee wears off. Securing that morning light and successfully timing your caffeine intake chemically immunizes your brain against midday crashes. To carry that momentum into your workday, you need to create an internal environment primed for deep work. Fasting until roughly noon slightly elevates your levels of adrenaline and epinephrine. In this optimal range, that chemical shift sharpens your attention and enhances your brain's ability to lock in and retain information. Analytical, this diagram shows the body's natural morning temperature rise, highlighting a 90-minute peak zone known as an ultradian cycle. By starting your most difficult tasks during the steepest slope of your temperature increase, you match your workflow directly to your highest state of natural alertness. You can support this biological rhythm with a few physical adjustments to your workspace. Directing your eyes upward naturally increases wakefulness, so position your screen at or slightly above eye level. Turn your phone entirely off and play low-level white noise to put the brain in the best state for learning. When you treat a focused work session as a synchronized biological event, deep concentration ceases to be a massive struggle of willpower. It becomes a natural byproduct of your chemistry. Around noon, it's time to break the fast, but the volume and composition of that meal matter heavily. Heavy carbohydrates cause the brain to release serotonin, pushing you towards sleepiness. A lighter, low-carbohydrate lunch keeps your dopamine and adrenaline active, sustaining your focus through the afternoon. Adding specific nutrients to this midday meal also impacts your neurological performance. Clinical data shows that ingesting at least 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids daily stabilizes mood with a level of efficacy comparable to prescription medications. For physical training, keeping cortisol levels managed is key to long-term brain health. To avoid overtaxing your system, structure your exercise so that 80% of your work is submaximal, and only push past your lactate threshold to complete failure for the remaining 20%. As the workday winds down, there is one more vital outdoor protocol to execute. Late in the afternoon, you need to step outside and view the sunlight as the sun arcs down toward the horizon. Late in the day, the retina in your eye becomes highly sensitive to light. Viewing warm afternoon sunlight intentionally lowers that sensitivity, creating a biological buffer that protects your sleep-inducing melatonin production from the disruptive effects of bright indoor evening lights. Ultimately, these afternoon habits establish the biochemical foundation required for deep sleep later that night. By evening, your goal is to transition the nervous system away from alertness and into deep rest. This is exactly when you want to eat starchy carbohydrates. Foods like rice or pasta actively increase serotonin in the brain, chemically driving the body toward relaxation. To initiate sleep quickly, we have to manipulate our body heat. This thermal model shows how stepping into a hot shower, bath, or sauna dramatically increases your surface temperature just before you get into bed. Getting out of that intense heat forces your body to rapidly cool itself off. This mechanism intentionally drops your core body temperature by 1 to 3 degrees, delivering the exact physiological trigger required for you to fall asleep. For additional assistance, a specific combination of supplements, magnesium threonate, apigenin, and theanine, can further aid this transition. Together, they promote the release of an inhibitory neurotransmitter called GABA, effectively shutting down the rumination and planning functions of your forebrain. Quality sleep is not a passive state that simply washes over you. It is a precise neurological event that you have to actively trigger. Most people spend their entire lives reacting blindly to random waves of fatigue and anxiety. Once you fully understand the biological mechanics of your unique daily cycle, you replace that chaos with deliberate, measurable control. The complex, highly adaptable machinery of the human nervous system remains the absolute most sophisticated performance technology available today. The core levers required to operate this machinery, like getting morning sunlight, consistent forward ambulation, deliberate temperature manipulation, and strategic nutrient timing, are entirely free and accessible to anyone. By aligning your daily actions with these innate physiological rhythms, you stop swimming against the current of your own chemistry and finally take command of your 24-hour potential.